Welcome to my channel HFY Universe. The cryo-chamber screamed. Not electronically. Not mechanically. Screamed like a living thing. Red emergency lights erupted across Outpost K-47 as Captain Ethan Cross stumbled backward, his heart slamming against his ribs. Every monitor in the underground vault flashed the same terrifying warning. Do not open Chamber 7. The message repeated again and again. But it was already too late. The chamber door was opening. Slowly. Frozen vapor poured into the room like ghostly smoke. Scientists backed away. Security officers raised their rifles. Nobody spoke. Nobody breathed. Something inside was waking up. Something that had slept for more than 600 years. Then the figure stepped forward. A young alien woman. Pale blue skin. Silver-white hair. Glowing violet eyes. And tears running down her face. The moment she looked at Ethan, the entire facility lost power. Darkness swallowed everything. The only light came from her eyes. And then she whispered words that shattered Ethan's world. I finally found you. Silence. The sentence made no sense. Ethan had never seen her before. Yet she stared at him as if she had spent centuries searching for him. The emergency generators activated. Lights flickered back on. The alien woman's body trembled. Then she said something even worse. Your mother died because of me. Ethan froze. His blood turned cold. His mother, Sarah Cross, had vanished 20 years ago during a classified deep space mission. No wreckage. No survivors. No explanation. The government had declared her dead. Case closed. But somehow this alien knew her name. Knew her fate. Knew something nobody else should know. Who are you? Ethan demanded. The alien swallowed hard. My name is Lyra. Tears filled her eyes. Your mother saved my life. Before Ethan could respond, heavy footsteps thundered through the corridor. The blast doors exploded open. Armed soldiers flooded the vault. Dozens of laser rifles locked onto Lyra. Colonel Marcus Voss stepped forward. Cold. Merciless. The most feared officer in the Orion Defense Command. His eyes narrowed the instant he saw Lyra. For a brief moment, fear crossed his face. Then it vanished. Kill her. The order echoed through the chamber. The soldiers pulled their triggers. Nothing happened. Their weapons shut down instantly. One after another. Power cells died. Targeting systems failed. Communication devices went silent. Confusion spread across the room. Nobody understood what was happening. But Lyra did. The glowing symbols on her skin pulsed brighter. Machines all around her simply stopped working. As if technology itself obeyed her presence. The soldiers backed away nervously. One scientist whispered. That's impossible. Another stared in disbelief. No species can interfere with quantum systems. Lyra lowered her head. You should have left me asleep. Suddenly the entire facility shook. A violent impact rattled the walls. Dust fell from the ceiling. Warning alarms erupted. This time they were different. Planetary defense alert. Everyone turned toward the giant tactical display. The screen showed dozens of unidentified warships appearing in orbit. Then hundreds. Then thousands. The room went silent. Nobody had ever seen ships like these. Ancient. Massive. Terrifying. Every vessel carried weapons larger than entire cities. A transmission suddenly arrived. 3 words appeared on every screen. We found her. Panic erupted instantly. Scientists ran toward escape routes. Officers shouted conflicting orders. Some soldiers simply stared, frozen in fear. Ethan looked at Lyra. Her face had gone pale. They found me. Who? Ethan asked. Her voice barely emerged. The last empire. The words sucked the air from the room. Every child in the galaxy knew the legends. The last empire was supposed to be extinct. Destroyed thousands of years ago. Nothing more than ancient myths. Ghost stories. Yet their fleet was now surrounding the planet. Real. Life. And searching for someone. Searching for Lyra. Colonel Voss suddenly smiled. A smile that made Ethan's stomach turn. You finally arrived. Everyone looked at him. Lyra's eyes widened. You brought them here. Voss nodded calmly. I spent 20 years looking for you. Shock spread across the room. Even the soldiers looked horrified. Their commander had betrayed them. Ethan stepped forward. What have you done? Voss ignored him. His gaze remained fixed on Lyra. Hand over the core. The alien woman's body stiffened. Fear flashed across her face. No. The galaxy belongs to the Empire. No. Voss activated a hidden device. Massive security doors slammed shut. Escape routes vanished. Lockdown protocols engaged. Nobody was leaving. Ethan suddenly realized the truth. Voss wasn't trying to protect humanity. He was helping the enemy. Another violent impact shook the facility. This time cracks appeared across the ceiling. Far above them, orbital bombardment had begun. The last Empire was attacking. The countdown to extinction had started. Lyra grabbed Ethan's wrist. The instant their skin touched, everything changed. A blinding vision exploded inside Ethan's mind. Stars burned. Worlds collapsed. Ancient fleets battled across impossible distances. Then he saw her, his mother, alive, standing beside Lyra. Both of them staring into a gigantic machine hidden beyond the edge of known space. A machine larger than planets. Larger than moons. A sleeping nightmare made of metal and darkness. And it was waking up. Ethan ripped his hand away, gasping for breath. The vision felt real. Too real. What was that? He whispered. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. The truth. What truth? Her voice trembled. The thing your mother died trying to stop. The room shook again. The floor cracked beneath their feet. Then every monitor across the facility suddenly activated. A single image appeared. A colossal mechanical eye opening in the darkness between galaxies. Watching. Waiting. Awakening. And beneath the image, one message appeared. Extinction protocol initiated. The alien fleet above the planet wasn't the real threat. It never had been. Something far worse was coming. And Ethan's mother had known it all along. The floor split apart. A deafening crack echoed through Outpost K-47 as support beams twisted like paper. People screamed. Soldiers ran. Scientists abandoned their stations. And on every screen, that massive mechanical eye continued staring back at them. Watching. Waiting. Awakening. Captain Ethan Cross couldn't look away. Something about it felt wrong. Not evil. Not alive. Something far worse. Ancient. Unstoppable. As if the universe itself feared it. Another explosion rocked the facility. Colonel Voss smiled. The Awakener has finally received the signal. Lyra's face went white. No. Her voice barely escaped. You don't understand what you've done. Voss laughed. On the contrary. He stepped closer. I understand perfectly. Outside, orbital bombardments intensified. The entire planet trembled. The ancient fleet wasn't trying to conquer the world. They were searching. Searching desperately. For Lyra. For the core. For the only thing capable of stopping what was coming. Ethan grabbed Lyra's arm. Tell me what's happening. For a moment she hesitated. Then tears filled her eyes. The machine you saw. Her voice cracked. It destroyed civilizations before humanity ever discovered fire. Silence. Even the soldiers listened. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The last empire created it. Shock rippled through the room. Voss nodded proudly. Humanity finally hears the truth. Lyra glared at him. You call that truth? Her eyes burned with anger. Your empire murdered trillions. The colonel's expression darkened. They were necessary sacrifices. Ethan felt sick. Necessary sacrifices. The words sounded monstrous. But Lyra wasn't finished. The Awakener wasn't built to protect the galaxy. She looked directly at Ethan. It was built to erase it. The room exploded with panic. Several scientists staggered backward. One dropped to his knees. No. Another shook his head repeatedly. That's impossible. It isn't, Lyra whispered. Ethan stared at her. Then why create something like that?
Again,
pain crossed her face. Because fear makes intelligent species do terrible things. Another violent impact struck the facility. This time part of the ceiling collapsed. Chunks of metal crashed to the floor. People scattered. The countdown on the main screen suddenly appeared. Awakening sequence. 47 hours. The room fell silent. 47 hours. That was all. 47 hours until something capable of destroying galaxies came online. Voss activated his communicator. Immediately, dozens of hidden security drones emerged from the walls. Their weapons powered up. Unlike the soldiers' rifles, these machines still worked. Ethan realized why. Voss had prepared for Lyra. Prepared for this moment. Take the core. The drones aimed at Lyra. She stepped backward. Fear flashed across her face. Not for herself. For everyone else. Ethan noticed. Humans were afraid for themselves. Lyra was afraid for strangers. At that moment, several soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. One whispered, "Humans are different." Another slowly lowered his weapon. Because Ethan had done something unexpected. Instead of stepping away from danger, he stepped in front of Lyra. The room froze. Even Lyra looked shocked. Ethan. He ignored her. His eyes remained locked on Voss. If you want her. He clenched his fists. You go through me. Voss laughed. Cold, heartless laugh. A single human thinks he can stop destiny. The colonel nodded toward the drones. Kill him. The drones fired. Blue energy bolts streaked across the room. Everything happened in seconds. Ethan shoved Lyra aside. Pain exploded through his body. One blast struck his shoulder. Another hit his chest. The force threw him across the floor. Gasps echoed everywhere. Blood spread across his uniform. Lyra screamed. For a brief moment, everyone thought Ethan was dead. Then something impossible happened. He stood back up. Slowly, painfully. But he stood. The room stared in disbelief. The drones had enough power to tear apart armored vehicles. Yet the human was still standing. Bleeding. Shaking. But standing. A scientist whispered in amazement. Humans are different. The word spread through the room. Humans were fragile. Weak. Emotional. Yet they refused to stay down. Ethan wiped blood from his mouth. Then charged forward. Voss never expected it. Neither did the drones. Humans weren't supposed to attack while injured. But humanity had survived because it never followed expectations. Ethan slammed into the nearest drone. The machine crashed into a wall. Sparks erupted. Another drone fired. Ethan rolled beneath the shot. Pain screamed through his body. Still he kept moving. One after another. The drones fell. Destroyed. Not because Ethan was stronger. Not because he was faster. 'Cause he refused to quit. That terrified the aliens watching. Lyra stared at him with tears in her eyes. For centuries, she had studied countless species. None behaved like this. None fought like this. None endured like humans. Then everything changed. A transmission suddenly appeared. The ancient fleet had sent a direct message. The image of an alien commander filled every screen. Silver armor. Golden eyes. A face marked by centuries of war. The commander looked directly at Lyra. Then at Ethan. And froze. The ancient warrior's expression transformed into pure shock. No! The commander stepped closer. Impossible emotion filled his voice. It can't be. Ethan frowned. The alien commander wasn't looking at Lyra anymore. He was staring directly at Ethan. The warrior slowly dropped to one knee. Then another. Across the room, nobody understood what they were seeing. An enemy commander. one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy, kneeling before a human. The commander's voice trembled. After all these centuries, Ethan's heart stopped, because the alien's next words changed everything. We finally found the son of the Guardian. The room went silent. Lyra's eyes widened. Voss looked horrified. And Ethan realized one terrifying truth. His mother hadn't been an explorer. She hadn't been a victim. She had been something else entirely. Something important enough for an entire galactic empire to hunt her family for 20 years. Then the commander revealed the final secret. The Guardian is alive.